Thanks very much for having me. I'm Louis Dutel, born and raised in New Orleans. Family's been involved in the real estate sector for generations, real estate, insurance, title. Opened a title business here about 24 years ago and have been very successful with all the growth, etc. I have a few personal things on my agenda that I'm spearheading and I would like to see changed in our state and especially St. Tammany Parish. There's a couple of things I hold dear to my heart, and I guess after today maybe you'll look at me and remember me as the candidate with a heart. About 6 months or so ago I lost my oldest son to a very unforgiving tragedy. This thing that you hear about is fentanyl poisoning. And that pretty much changed my life forever. So I would like to see more access to mental health, substance abuse. How do I know this? I can tell you as a grassroots person on the ground, there's just not enough out there. If you want to know the links between crime, if you want to know the links between incarceration, clogging up our criminal system, etc., it points to this. My other big agenda is insurance. As a business owner, I'm often approached by relatives, cousins, people from other states. We would like to expand. We would like to start a business here and join you in Louisiana, perhaps a regional effort, only to be held up by the constant fighting of getting a competitive insurance rate on a commercial insurance policy. How about transportation? You think that's an easy thing to get into? Drive an 18-wheeler truck? You cannot get insurance. It's outrageous. This is ridiculous. If we can make a gumbo that can just kill Washington, D.C. after Katrina and everywhere else and warm the hearts of Americans, we can fix insurance. I promise you. So these are the passionate reasons that I'm running. I live in Bush, Louisiana. I raised my kids out here in the Mandeville-Covington area, and I really am looking for your support. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Peter Egan. I was not born in New Orleans, unlike the last speaker. Joshua has told me this morning, he told me what I was going to say in the first part of my speech. Not born in New Orleans, born in Chalmette, I have a speech impediment. It's not true. I was born in Ireland. I've been in the United States 52 years, so I am an American. When I say my country, this is my country. I have lived in St. Tammany Parish now. This is my 30th year here in St. Tammany Parish, so I think I know the parish and probably the needs of the parish very well at this point. My heart goes out to Louis. That issue is a gigantic, tragic issue nationally, throughout the state, and to a very significant extent here in St. Tammany Parish. And again, I would make that same commitment that would be one of my target agenda items more than anything else. I had not planned to mention that when I came up here, however, I think that is appropriate. I have a background in healthcare. My wife and I've been in healthcare for 40 years. Originally 8 years as a hospital administrator in what was the largest psychiatric hospital, one of the largest ones around here. Anybody told you they were going to send you to DePaul, I would have had you as a patient. So you'd have to be old enough to have known about that. But anyway, I was there for 8 years. I am a board certified counselor, both in mental health and substance abuse. Not active, but I mean that is my personal background. My wife and I founded a home health and hospice company 32 years ago. We sold it 3 years ago. It is now Egan Auctioner. Again, I say I bought Auctioner. That's not true either, but Egan is first in the name, so I'm very proud of that. But anyway, we sold the company. At the time, it had 400 employees. What would I change in Baton Rouge? the amount of money that goes up to Baton Rouge from St. Tammany Parish versus the amount that comes back down. The punitive environment towards St. Tammany over the last 6 years needs to be changed. Our infrastructure absolutely needs that. It needs that massive change coming back down here. Towards that end, and a permanent change would be to get rid of the Huey Long thinking where everything goes to Baton Rouge before it comes back down. We will need a constitutional convention or a partial constitutional convention to address that. I am totally supportive of that. Insurance certainly is a major, and education. I have been endorsed, and I'm very proud, very humbled by Warren Montgomery, our district attorney. I'm endorsed by LCCM, Louisiana Committee for Conservative Majority, by the State Louisiana Hospital Association, by the Association of Builders and Contractors, and by the State Association of Home Builders. So I'm very, very proud of those endorsements. I would ask you for your vote as well. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Buffie Singletary, and I am a resident of the rural St. Tammany, which is District 74. I've been married to my husband for 28 years. And I believe in service leadership. I am seeking to become the state rep for this district, for my district, to serve the people of the rural St. Tammany. Our district needs representation who has spent decades serving their concerns and protecting their way of life. I'm a lifelong resident of St. Tammany Parish. I've lived all but 3 years in the rural St. Tammany. So I know my area, I know the people of my area. I'm there, I serve with them. During COVID, I, along with a group of volunteers, personally ensured that every child in this parish received their school board meals. We set up distribution sites in Lacombe, Folsom, Lee Road, Sun, and Pearl River. Those rural areas received them because it was a coordinated group by amazing people. The ones that could not make it to those distribution sites, we personally delivered foods to their home. So we made sure everybody was taken care of. I know the people of my district because I am the people of this district. And I live here, I've been here, I will stay here, this is my life. Our district has many issues that are of great concern to our residents. The rising crime rates of our inner cities has now spread to our outlying areas. We need to get to the root of the problem and prosecute properly, as well as initiate effective programs for inmates to reduce the recidivism. Education is no longer about teaching the children. It's become an indoctrination camp for the woke America. I will work to return schools to a safe place, a place where God is not a dirty word, where teachers are allowed to educate their students and parents have the first and last say about their child. Our children are not pawns, they're not experiments, and they're not for sale. I will stand for our students, teachers, and parents. Another challenge we face as a state is a variety of financial failures, from our outdated tax structure to our inflated insurance premiums and our out-of-control spending. Louisiana has fallen into financial ruins and has lost a clear direction. All legislators have some form of involvement in the $50 billion state budget. Unfortunately, this has become a free-for-all in many ways. And we need to establish sound financial principles in order to stop the runaway train from bankrupting our state. Through my education and business experience, I am perfectly postured to address the growing risks that face our community and state. To many elected officials, they think the people's right to be heard should end the day they vote. I'm asking for your vote on October 14th because I want to be your state rep. I want to represent District 74. I will remain in constant contact with our residents and find creative ways to improve their lives. I also would like to say, Louis, I kind of feel bad. I lost a son the same way, and I also lost one to a drunk driver. So that's definitely high on my agenda as well.